It's time for Cutting Edge Consciousness with Freeman Michaels and Barnet Bain. Thought-provoking discussions and bold ideas from the edge of possibility.
And we're back on Cutting Edge Consciousness. Freeman Michaels here with Barnet Bain. Wow. You know, the thing that is amazing to me is, you know, with the autistic kids, it's, this is the words we've been using so often, is it's a different wavelength. It's a different frequency. You know, that okay, the world, you know, as it currently exists, this system overload, it doesn't make sense to these kids coming from where they are neurologically and so forth. But the water does. It's a different operating system. It's a different frequency. It's a different, you know, source of intelligence and information. That's at least my interpretation.
For years, when Sophie, when my daughter was growing up, we were active in something called the Malibu Board Riders Club. She surfed like local contests, and so we would do, every year there was an event, still going, and they would surf with kids from the Ronald McDonald's houses.
Sure.
And guys like Garrett and, would come in, and they would take these kids out surfing. And I remember we volunteered there for years and years, and I remember standing on the beach watching this one little boy who probably was about 10 or 11 years old, and he had a helmet on and he had a life preserver on, and I don't know who he had him on a surfboard, had him hoisted held by the back of his life preserver, like dangling. And the kid was crying and anxious and nervous, and then they paddled into a wave and popped up, and the surfer like just hoisted him with one arm to his feet, and I could see from the beach what happened. He just shifted. He shifted. He felt the rush of energy, and I have never to this day experienced an image of such transcendent joy. He just, this huge smile, and then the laughter, the peals of laughter you could hear right to the beach, and then he ran to the nose of the board, and he was leaning over and held back by with his arms out to the air. It was so beautiful, so beautiful. When they got into the shore, he was screaming with joy to go back, to go again, and to go again, and to go again. But what an image! So there is something that happens when you are in the elements, in your body, in your heart.
In the moment.
In the moment. But that is such a physical body sensation.
Yeah. And there's such a part of trust that, look, so the ocean has always scared me. I think I've brought this up to you that we've talked about me learning to surf and whatnot. But there are other things similar to surfing, other things that I've done in my life where, you know, I've had that experience of fear and I've moved through it, and I've realized I can trust myself. It's sort of how we started this show. This was a week when there was a lot of
movement, uncertainty,
a lot of it,
turmoil,
and pushback, and I was hearing from a lot of aspects. But that I have, and you know, I'm working on this. I'm building a body that I can trust. I'm building a consciousness that's expanded enough where I can handle all of this, and this idea that getting to the place of I can trust this, I can trust me. I think that's a very powerful piece, as well as the whole commitment and the perspective. I mean, it's been such a powerful analogy for us from the start of the show, Barnet. Like week one, we talked about how the ocean and surfing was an analogy for, you know, the cutting edge of consciousness, how to allow for uncertainty and discomfort and not be overcome by it, and actually learn to, I don't know if the word is enjoy, but you know, just work with it. And the truth is, you pop up, you pop out, and there's this exhilaration, like, whoa. He was saying about the mission to Alaska. They called it a mission, by the way, which I think is fantastic, and how that changed everything. It changed his entire perspective. Now the waves are all different in the context of that bigger wave. You know, we talked last show about biggering that the for the sake of is a biggering process, right? This for the sake of, it's biggering. That's it.
Well, we add on more capacity. We grow a self. We grow into a bigger sense of ourselves, a bigger sense of vision and possibilities. We become bigger.
And then we write it down.
And it changes what matters to us.
Exactly.
So this language that you're using for the sake of, I do things for the sake of another person, or for the sake of my own growth, or for however you're using that language, I think of it as being connected and committed to what matters to me. And what matters to me changes and grows and shifts. And the more that I grow and explore and have achievements and successes, and successes could mean anything. It just means that I successfully move into new territory or have a new kind of experience, and that I'm present with it. And the more that I'm able to do that, it shifts what matters to me. It shifts what the stakes are, the reasons why. So one thing many things that Garrett said, but one thing particularly that he said that resonated very deeply with me is that he, in addition to his physical training, he has a metaphysical training. He is very clear about writing down his goals and his intentions. Not sufficient, he said, to be aware of them, but important to ritualize them, to honor them. We honor things to the degree that we are willing to change our habits.
And write them down
as a result of them. So to write them down, that is an honoring commitment. It is a serialized set of messages to various aspects of the self, conscious, subconscious, all kinds of commitment, all kinds of visioning, and suddenly those intentions, that ritual, is able to hold the boundaries.
Yes, that's it.
For a whole new range of possibilities.
That's right.
Of adventure and of love and exploration and growth.
And it's a new level of commitment. Look, it's one thing to have a glimpse of something. Like, we've all had a glimpse of something great. Like, oh, I have this glimpse, and we stir with it. And maybe we want to talk about it a little bit, and we get all excited. And then, whatever, the day goes on, and we forget about it, and we're like, yeah, it might not happen. It's a very different thing to commit to it. It's a very different thing to write it down. It's a very different thing to map it out.
Well, how many thoughts do we have during the day?
Yeah, I don't know.
How many? I've heard all kinds of different numbers. I've heard 50,000. I've heard there's a whole lot of thoughts during the day.
No, but I'm talking about a glimpse.
Well, so there are thoughts and glimpses, but then when you have a glimpse or a thought and you concretize it by writing it down so it doesn't just pass through the brain box like a cloud on an empty blue field.
No, that's right.
But that you lasso it and you haul it down, you ground it.
You hold the glimpse.
You hold the glimpse. You ritualize it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
There are other ways of ritualizing things too, but I loved what he said about making this, grounding it in this. It is writing down the intentions, writing down the goals. You now have a roadmap. It opens the heart to create miracles outside of logic and reason. You grow into something.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love the idea of claiming it. I love the idea of a contract, a sacred contract that I'm committing to. This is my life. This is what it's about. And I'm willing. I'm willing to go all in. It's
And his was about, he said he was committed to living out his dreams.
That's it.
And to being a part of nature, and to being in that flowing dance. He really spoke so beautifully about his kind of spiritual unfolding. I love that he uses Deepak's book as a kind of I Ching.
I love that.
So there was just such a wonderful model for how things come together in a life that it's not a usual life. Sometimes these kinds of models they're easier to see in a life that is as unique, as original as that life.
It's interesting too what he was saying about the everyday life situations
being more challenging.
And that, the clarity of what he was doing when he was in the water, that clarity, that intention, that focus, it's really great. The challenge, of course, is to take that same clarity and begin to surf and ride the energetic waves of what we might call everyday life, to begin to, be able to navigate uncertainty and discomfort with, again, that same sense of purpose. Not same in the sense that it's exactly the same. It's a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning. What do I want my life to be about? Because so many of us, and I'm sorry that we beat this up on this show, but I got to say it more often, is that we have the present as a result of the past and as our paradigm versus, and this is often illustrated by people saying, I'm trying to heal so I can move on in my life. And what we've sort of said is, no, flip that around. I'm moving on with my life so that I can heal. I've got this sense of where I'm going.
As surfers look down the line.
Yeah.
They are in the moment, but they are looking ahead.
Yeah.
They are not looking over their shoulder. They are fully present in the body, in the element, but they are looking ahead so that they have a sense of vision of where they are going.
And let me just offer, because in the way that we work, the past, it isn't to say we forget about it. We may hear from parts of our past. We may hear from aspects of our experience that pop up in the present moment that reoccur. But in the context of where we're going, again, the cleaning up of it, the imperative is to clean it up because we have somewhere to go. So it changes the focus.
Well, if you don't have somewhere to go,
well, then
you will loop around and repeat the past and repeat the past.
And if your focus is always backwards and you're trying to sort something out that's already gone, it doesn't help you moving forward. It doesn't move you out of it. It just keeps stuck, especially when they're tough situations that make life scary. So I'm invested. If I'm looking back all the time, I'm so invested in how scary and hard it's been. That's not really helpful. Where we're going, and this sense of vision and purpose will sustain us when things do get hard and difficult and challenging. That will sustain us. That's the magic pill. That's the secret sauce.
Then comes the possibility that what might be even more scary to us is not the difficult stuff that we're cleaning up, but the unknown, uncertain stuff that the juicy, good stuff. Do we have the heart? Do we have the capacity? Do we have the body? Do we have the nervous system to hold all that good stuff?
That's right.
That's a different set of challenges and a beautiful set of challenges. And with that, we are time challenged, I see. So
we're often time challenged. We're not that time challenged.
We're not. I'm seeing lots of finger waving, and I can't tell whether that's. Is that? I thought you were just saying peace. I thought that was peace signs.
That was Richard Nixon.
We do have plenty of. We do have a little more time left then.
Then let me track back to this thought, because it's important to, I think, help with this idea that the context of cleaning up what we have to clean up in service to where we're going is a very empowered way to handle whatever comes our way.
And then you add on, I clean up where I've been in the context of where I'm going, and I have a sense of vision and possibility. Energy follows attention. I am directing my focus towards what is possible, what can be. And in the same way that Garrett McNamara is tuned to a future. he is aware of what from the past is coming in to create a little the occasional bump in the road between here and the future, but aware of that so that he can glide over it, focused on what will be.
And I don't want to lose the service element too, that our lives are in service to something bigger, that we have a sense that each of us has a purpose, a unique purpose, a sense that there's something we have to give. And, I love the fact that he was in the shop and he was like, this isn't it. This isn't why I'm here. There's something else. And he found it. And then the giving back with the autistic kids and a whole orientation, a frame of reference that allows him to be more giving in the world. That's beautiful. Because that is the gift of having a talent and having a skill set and a certain number of experiences that offers someone a picture of maybe what it is, the avenue from which they can come and be a contributor to all that is good and true and possible.
And with that, we are well and truly cooked this time out. So we thank all our listeners, as we are always grateful that to have an audience, and
we're really thankful they share it, because so many of our audience members post and share our shows,
post our podcasts, and
that's
share our shows.
Beautiful.
And
so thank you for that.
Join us on our Facebook page. And for those of you that haven't joined us, you're welcome to join us. We hope that you will like us on our Facebook page, and follow our podcasts on YouTube and iTunes and elsewhere, wherever you may find them. Until next week, have a great week.